What's going on, Bods? Welcome back to the Baud Fawk Sports Podcast. As usual, I'm Justin. I'm here with my friend Tarren.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, and today we're going to jump back into the world of soccer. So I think we got to talk about one of the biggest headlines, bro, is Portugal losing to Serbia and failing to qualify for the World Cup initially.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. Like people are memeing the hell out of Portugal right now. But I don't really find it like something to really meme and like joke about because I know like personally, I'm not Portuguese, but I know personally it's going to be less enjoyable to watch without Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo. So
Yeah,
I'm not rooting for them to not make it. I want them to make it because it's going to make the competition better.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy though that they lost in the 90th minute. Mitrovic with the header. Some people blaming Ruben Dias for that header, but man, I think to me the headline should be Fernand Sanchez's job. I think the manager of Portugal. We saw the disaster that was the Euro Cup with that team, and now this. I still think they are going to qualify through the playoffs, but like, come on, like I don't get how he's not winning games with this team.
Yeah, they have a super talented squad on paper. The fact that he isn't able to get anything out of it, not anything, but he's not getting what they should be performing at. Like Bruno Fernandes, he doesn't look like we've seen Bruno on Man U like literally carry a team. He doesn't look the same for
Yeah,
Portugal. So I think he's being utilized incorrectly. Um, and Ruben Diaz, like for Man City, he's one of the best center backs like in the league. Um, and then for Portugal, he doesn't look the same.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, like I've seen these guys perform at top levels, like pretty much everyone on that team, and then play worse for Portugal. So I'm gonna chalk that up to the manager.
Yeah. And like I just think his style of play is too old fashioned, if you will. Cause you got bright guys like, Bruno, like we said, Bernardo Silva, Diego Jota, João Felix, Andre Silva, and like obviously Ronaldo, but we don't gotta talk about him. Like we got this like new barrage of talent, and I feel like he hasn't been able to utilize them. I think it just comes down to his tactics. His tactics in the Euros like horrible against Belgium. Like I really thought they were gonna win that game, but Fernand Sancho once again, if Bruno's not playing well, I just don't think that that's like, you're not going to win games if he's not playing well. And he doesn't even start
Mm,
sometimes too. And
yeah.
like you said, we know how good Bruno's been in the Premier League. So him not performing for Portugal with that team, on arguably like that team on paper is just as talented as United, if not even more talented. You never know. So it's
Mhm.
like he's still surrounded by great players. And yeah, and I think him not starting like Renato Sanchez every game and Palhinha every
Yeah.
game, like that does a lot to the team.
Yeah. No, they like I don't know what Renato Sanchez has to do to start, but like he's doing pretty much everything he can. He looks like one of their best players every time he steps on the pitch. He should start every game, and like you said, they have a really talented squad. Like I remember, just before the Euros, like we're starting, all like the big headlines were like the big teams that people were talking about were France, England, and Portugal,
Yeah.
right? Like those were the big three basically because all three of their teams on paper were insane depth everywhere. So to have that kind of a squad and go out the way they did, which was it was a pretty bad performance like overall. Like I know Belgium is their quality, but it was clear that Portugal weren't playing to their best level even throughout the group stage.
Yeah.
Against like Germany, they got destroyed. So and for the first I think like 82 minutes against Hungary, they looked stale, like they couldn't do anything done. Obviously at the end, like they went on a bit of a rampage, but
Oh yeah.
you could see the signs there with Portugal that they're not they're not performing at their best level. And
Yeah.
I think their manager like I think he's good at like getting players below like a specific talent level to play above, but not fitting a bunch of big pieces together and making them work.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And yeah, like it's like the squad that he won the Euros with in 2016, like that squad on paper was much less than like this team. Like
Yeah.
this team today, I feel like with a decent manager would blow that team out of the water. So it's like, yeah, back to your point. I feel like Fernand Sanch, he does elevate players. And I'm gonna give him his respect. Like he did bring Portugal to Euros, like that's huge. But I
Mhm.
just think that like after the Euros, like I feel like they should have moved on. And I don't want this to cost them in the World Cup because like I think they'll still make it, but imagine if they don't. Like you never know.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
Yeah, well, I think like not just after the Euros he should have been let go because like he just won, right? But after the 2018 World Cup, I think he probably should have been let go, because he just, in my opinion, like he's just clearly not the guy for the job.
Yeah.
I know some people are loyal; they want to stick by him, but at what point do you look at like all these top tier players that are amazing, who don't perform only for Portugal? Like you start to look at like, oh, it's probably the manager. So I don't know who they should get, but I hate like Fernando Sanchez has to go.
Yeah, and it's just weird because I remember there was all those memes about like Portugal's lineup. Like it's really easy to get Portugal's best lineup right. Like it's
Yeah.
just not hard. Like everyone did it, and then I feel like on the first day, like him benching like Kylian and Ronaldo and Bruno and playing these weird tactics and like subbing off Bernardo Silva yesterday when he was playing really
Oh my
well.
God.
It's like I don't get how. I feel like a lot of these managers that we talk about all have one thing in common. They just don't know how to manage like a top team of big players. We talk about Ole and Southgate, and now I feel like Fernando Sanchez kind of falls into that category. It's like, obviously Fernando Sanchez actually won something, so that puts him above those two. But with a team like this to go out the way they did against Belgium, and like you mentioned, the group stages, and now in World Cup qualifying, they didn't even win out. Like now they're gonna have to play in the playoffs. Like that's pretty alarming. I wouldn't think that this team should be going through this right now.
Yeah, like they have quality all over the pitch. Like you said, it's super easy to get their best lineup because they have so many great talented players. No matter what lineup you throw out there from the options, it's a good lineup.
Yeah.
So, uh, I think it's clearly a mismanagement, and like you said, like the tactics just really aren't there. Like he plays so defensively, which, like, yeah, that was great with like the old team, because there was a lot of like slower, more defensive guys. Now you got like guys that want to push the pace, like Renato Sanchez and Bruno and obviously Ronaldo and Bernardo Silva is I will always say he's one of the best players on that Portugal squad. He's so good for them.
Yeah.
In the Euros, he looked like obviously like I guess, but like besides Ronaldo, like he looked like their best player, and then he would get subbed off like every game.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
And like,
So
it was so weird because he would sub off Bernardo Silva, who's having an amazing game, and bring on Bruno to play right wing. But it's like, why is Bruno playing right wing? Like just leave on Bernardo Silva and put Bruno in the middle. So it's like the tactics aren't there. I feel like, it's just gone stale. I think I don't know. I think if they somehow don't make this, then he's gone. But I think they will still make the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they will too. But they shouldn't be in this predicament anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
So like Carvalho and Pereira, like those aren't the guys to play in the midfield. Like Renato Sanchez is showing you that he's levels above everyone that you have there.
Yeah.
And he has to start. I don't know why he didn't start. And yeah, like I said, like he wants to get the ball quickly and push the pace. He's great at starting counterattacks, along with Bruno. Bruno's really good at starting counterattacks, as you know. Bernardo Silva, like all those guys want to get the ball, okay, and now like let's push the pace, like let's go. And when you have two like big slow guys, or if you have one, like that's fine, like to pick up the ball and move it, but two like CDMs basically is just not how Portugal should be playing right now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's like you're wasting such an offensive barrage like Bruno, Ronaldo, Bernardo Silva, João Felix, Diogo Jota, Andre Silva. Like those are even Rafa at times. Like he's still a great player. So it's like you can't have all of that, but play like very, very defensive. Like I don't care what defense you have. If that's your attack, you got to play attacking football.
Yeah, and now they have. It's because back in the day they didn't really have the defense. Now they have the defenders to make that happen. Like Ruben Diaz looks like one of the best in the world. Rui Patricio is always a solid keeper. Like he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I know like he's had his moments, but they have a really like solid back line now, and they have a really good midfield. they just have a really good team. So you don't need to play that way anymore. And that's why I'm saying, like, he's good at getting players to overperform, but he's not good at fitting together a bunch of great, like, big pieces.
Yeah, no, for real. So, I mean, hey, that's one big team that didn't qualify right away. I think there's another big team, and I know you're very close to that team. That's Italy. They didn't get through this time.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what they do in the playoffs. It was just they tied, I think, Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game because I thought, oh, Northern Ireland. But this Italy team, like, even in the Euros, like, it showed that it's a great defensive team and they have a top tier midfield, but their struggle is to score goals. That's the thing that they're clearly the worst at. They're missing that focal point up front. Like back in the day, with like Balotelli. I don't have the jersey up today, but like someone that you can give the ball to up front and he's just going to like bang in goals. Like Immobile just isn't that guy for Italy, He's really great for Lazio. He's amazing in Serie A. But for Italy, like he doesn't have that like same drive, I don't feel, and he doesn't play up to his best. So like I'm hoping like maybe Moise Kean can develop into that kind of guy, but right now like it just shows that because their defense is class.
Yeah.
Even with Bonucci and Chiellini getting old, they're still like they're so smart. They know exactly what to do to lock you down. Donnarumma is like a top 5 keeper in the world. Like a great Buffon replacement. They have a great defense. Florenzi, Di Lorenzo on the right side. Spinazzola, when he was healthy, looked like player of the tournament. So, like, we know what they can do in the defense. Their midfield, Barella and Locatelli and Jorginho and Verratti, like, they have a great midfield. It's just that attacking line, like you see Insigne just trying things sometimes because he'll just shoot from wherever and like hope it goes in sometimes because they don't really have a great flowing offense and their subs aren't good either. Berardi and Bernadeschi and like they're nothing special. So like they need a focal point up front.
Yeah, and I couldn't have agreed more. I think in the Euros, the thing that really showed Italy was different from the pack was like the defense in the midfield. Like that was the thing that was really mouthwatering. But yeah, like they tried different players up there and it wasn't really working. I will say Chiesa, he was class, but other than him, it's like they don't really have that. Like if you could put like 2012 Balotelli on Italy, then that would just be like that would work out so well for them. So I mean, like personally, if they don't make it to the World Cup, I will be so happy. but hey, that's okay. But I mean, I don't see them not making it. I think all these top teams, it's just unlucky because I think it was Switzerland who won their group, so the Swiss are going to get through. So I mean, do you see them crashing out of the playoffs by any chance? You think it's just a lock?
No. I think Italy will make it through. Like they've shown their class. Like they just won the Euros.
Yeah.
Like you said, like it was probably just unlucky. I think they'll make it through. We've seen them come up big in crucial moments. Obviously, the defense is always like they always know what to do. Like you said, Chiesa is world class, so I think he'll bring it out of the bag if they're struggling. But like Chiesa and Insigne are great, but again, like it just comes down to that front guy. Like they can only do so much. So we'll see, man. I don't know. Like I'm sure they'll get in, but it is kind of worrying that they're tying to teams like Ireland.
Yeah, Northern Ireland actually.
Northern Ireland. Sorry.
Yeah, so even worse. I don't even know who's like on that squad off the top of my head.
I just know that's where George Best was from. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I know.
Like yeah, so I mean, I do think it's reaction. I think both Portugal and Italy will make it in. I know we have one.
I hope so.
We have one friend who will be very upset if they don't. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but I think they'll both make it in. I don't see them not making it. If they don't, then that would be big. So
are Netherlands also in the playoffs as well?
Oh, that's interesting. I actually don't know. I mean,
I thought they were.
They could be. But I will say this, so I will ask this as like an Italy fan. If Italy don't make the World Cup, what are you going to do?
Well, at the end of the day, like I'm French and Italian, so if Italy don't make it, I'm just gonna root for France. Like, I'm gonna be disappointed, like very disappointed, but like they did just win the Euros, so like they're still giving me some kind of happiness. I can't be too upset. But yeah, I'll just keep supporting France. That's I guess that's the great part of being French and Italian right now, because the last World Cup that was played, France won, so I was super happy. And then the Euros, Italy won, so literally couldn't be happier with international football currently.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think they will, but if Italy don't make it, do you think Mancini gets the boot, or is that just too reactionary?
No,
Yeah.
no, there's no way. Like, if maybe someone like Conte, like Antonio Conte, was still like looking for a job, and Italy were like, hey, like if you want to try it out again. But the fact that he's employed now, I think Mancini is there to stay, and I don't think Mancini deserves to be sacked anyway. Like, that Euro run was insane. He's clearly shown that he's world class. So if they don't make it through, I would be devastated. But Mancini deserves to stay.
Yeah. And just to touch on the Netherlands, so tomorrow they do face Norway. So I feel like there will be
Okay.
ramifications in that. That's their 10th game. So who knows? I think, yeah, hopefully all three of those teams get in the World Cup, because I don't want to have a World Cup without top teams, like you said.
Yeah.
I would hate it if like there was no Netherlands, because Netherlands didn't even make it to the last World Cup. So they'd have to get back in there. And yeah, I think the funniest thing about the Netherlands, just on them quickly, is that, did you know that Van Dijk has never played a competitive competition for the Netherlands?
Yeah, I know, and it's kind of insane. So if they
Yeah.
didn't make the World Cup, then he would probably go his whole career without playing in one.
Yeah, like that's crazy to think about. Like, arguably one of the best defenders of our generation, just not playing in a World Cup or a Euro. So
Because he could have played in the Euros, but he decided not to, right?
yeah,
Because he was still coming back from injury.
yeah. So he just sat out, and I was like, damn. So now the wait continues. So hopefully we'll see what the Netherlands do tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll see. I like it would kind of be funny, like if they lost, because I really don't like the Netherlands. Uh, but like you said, like big teams, like I want to see them in the competition. I want the competition to be good. I don't want a bunch of like random crappy teams in there taking the spots of these big teams that I know would give me good games.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, if there are more crappy teams and it just makes it easier for France or Italy to win, then I'm not really going to complain, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. But let's talk about a great game that happened today with England and San Marino. The Three Lions back in full effect, a 10-0 result. Hurricane with 4 goals. Trent with 3 assists. Tammy had a goal. Smith Rowe had a goal. I think
You're
2022.
buzzing.
I think I'm ready to say it. Okay, it's happening again. 2022 football is coming home. It is happening. I'm so excited. This was a great win against San Marino. Maguire scored. Now is the most goals by any English center back in their history. Trent is amazing. Harry Kane's amazing. Grealish is amazing. Sancho, it's gonna happen. Foden's looking good. Like, football is really coming home in 2022.
You're just setting yourself up for so much disappointment, and
I'm
it makes
so
me so
excited.
happy. Watch, you guys are going to get to like a semifinal or even a final or something, and you guys are going to bottle it just like you always do. Trash.
This could be different. This England
No.
group, redemption time. It is redemption season. We're running it back, and I'm telling
Harry
you.
Kane only shows up. Harry Kane only shows up when it's against garbage teams for England. Harry Kane is we saw in the Euros, he was bad. Like, I don't care what anyone says, he was bad in the Euros. I think when the pressure's on Harry Kane, the full Tottenham effect comes out, and he shows his true colors, which is pretty pathetic performances. Like even just the final. Like he looked so non-existent almost. Like, I almost forgot Harry Kane was playing for England in the Euros. So yeah, you can be happy all you want, but a 10-0 victory against San Marino, like whatever, bro. I'm pretty sure you and me could have swapped with a couple players in that England side. We still would have beaten them 10-0.
Yeah,
So
very happy. I think we just gotta look at the positives. We had everyone scored. I think we had, what's the math there? I think 6 different goal scorers, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty cool. I'm thinking once that tournament comes, I think it's revenge time. We gotta run it back. Last World Cup, we lost in the semis. Then in the Euros, we lost in the finals. So we're just getting up there. So this only means, it's an upward trend. This only means that the next time we play one, we're gonna win it. So, like, this could erase a lot of pain that I've had over the past 4 years. So, like, I think, once we get Rashford back in the team and like Sterling and Sancho, I'm telling you, I think Harry Kane will deliver in the World Cup. So he is 8 goals away from breaking Wayne Rooney's record. Imagine the scenes if he does it in one tournament. He gets 9 goals in one
he's
tournament.
not going to. I will bet money with you right now he will not score 8 goals in one tournament.
Okay, that is like a very good bet in your favor. So like I will gladly decline, but not saying it won't happen. You're gonna have Foden, who's been amazing this year. You're gonna have Mount back up. Jude Bellingham is amazing too.
Do you think England have the best squad for this upcoming Euros?
Well, I said it before the Euro started. You know this. I said that I don't think any team on paper can beat us. I think we have the best squad depth out of any of the top teams. Did say that, and then we were penalties, but that doesn't matter. But I think going into this World Cup, I'm confident. I don't want to be overconfident. Like, I don't want to sound like we're the best team ever, because I know we're not. And I think at the end of the day, it's kind of on the players, because at the last Euro Cup, I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, this is the best England team we've like ever had in a while in terms of like form and all that stuff. And look, they performed. Like, they performed as a team. They lost. I know they had an easy route to the finals. We still got to win those games. So I feel like they made to the finals was good. But this time around, I think everyone, for the most part, has just gotten better than since the Euros. I think a lot of players, besides maybe like Harry Kane, who's been like, a big one, and maybe like Maguire and like Shaw, maybe they haven't been at their very best like today. But I think for the most part, like guys like Foden, like he's like really good this season. Trent has even stepped up his game. I feel like Henderson's back. So I'm confident again in the lads to like go on a legit run and maybe even win the tournament.
I'll give you you guys have the best depth. I think England do have the best depth coming up in this World Cup, but I think for starting 11s, I think it's arguable that Portugal have a better starting 11, and I think France have a better starting 11 than England. I do think, like the depth, but even if we just went position for position, what we think the best lineup is, I think on paper, France's lineup, like I think it beats England, and that comes down to a lot of just underperformers. Just when England do play in these big tournaments, because at the end of the day, if you want to compare Harry Kane to either Mbappe or Benzema, I'm picking Mbappe and Benzema both over Harry Kane for an international tournament. Although I'm probably just picking them for any tournament, anything. Over Harry Kane, especially this season. It's kind of a joke. And I think with Portugal, I don't think they always play their best 11, but I think if I gave my best 11 for Portugal, I think their best 11 also beats out England. Personally.
Yeah. Like, I'm not like, it's not a terrible argument, but I will say this, and we've seen it at the last tournament. I think the problem with all those teams is that look at the managers. Are you confident that Deschamps is going to win you anything after that last display? Same goes with Fernand Sanch. Because
here's the thing: you're confident in Southgate because Southgate is also garbage.
I mean, I don't think he's that bad. Like, he still got them to the finals. His tactics in the finals, respectively, like, even though it was a 5 at the back and everyone was suspect, our only goal came from the wing backs, like Trippier to Shaw. And like that was him. Like, I'll give him his praise. Like, those tactics, we did lose in the penalty shootout, but his tactics never made us lose from like open play. Like, there's nothing he could have tactically done to win that game in the shootout. So like, I don't even think his tactics are horrible like that. In my opinion, he's definitely the best out of those 3 that we just mentioned, I would say. So especially right now, like of all people, like, do you think?
I think at the end of the day, yes, Portugal and France both underperformed in the Euros, but I am never gonna say Southgate is better than either of them because they have actually won something. With Fernand Sanch won the Euros with a way worse team than England has had in the past like however many years. So no matter how bad he is doing right now, the fact that he won with that team, I'm gonna say he's better than Southgate. And Deschamps won with France in 2018. So even though yes he underperformed in these Euros, he also got to the final in the Euro 2016. And so I don't think Deschamps is great, but I'm gonna pick him over Southgate for sure. I'm gonna pick both of them over Southgate because they won. Uh, and this this England team was arguably the most talented they've had in a long time, and they lost. They lost in the Euros to pretty much a dark horse to most people in Italy. So, like, if you look at the lineups of Italy compared to England, England starting 11 and depth is better than Italy. They got like outmatched in the finals, and I think I think winning has to project these managers over Southgate. Like just getting to a semi and getting to a finals is not as good as actually winning.
Like that's fair, but we're talking about Fernand Sanch from 6 years ago now, and Deschamps, the whole I feel like the whole tournament, no one ever gave him like that praise of like he still won. So I'm just saying like as of today, and like again, I'm not making excuses for losing, but like at the end of the day, like Southgate, we lost in penalties. Like there's nothing he could have like. So you're saying if he wins, is he
Really,
a good manager?
really, you don't think it's up to him to pick the players to shoot and subbing on Rashford and Sancho just last minute without even letting them get their legs under them and going to have to take a penalty and making Saka take the winning penalty. You don't think that's on Southgate at all?
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. Donnarumma made a great save for Sancho, and Rashford hit the post. Like again, I'm not saying like a penalty is easy to score, but like to me, oh, I think Pogba was that Pogba? Is Pogba falling? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still a legend. La Poche. But anyways, hypothetically, if we win that penalty shootout, like if Southgate is better than them both right now, would you be like, yeah, no, I'll concede? Because like again,
If he, no, sure. If he won the Euros, and he didn't literally screw up the penalty shootout, then sure, I'd say he's better than both. But he didn't. So like ifs and maybes like are great, but he made the decision to bring on those players. He made the decision to make them take a penalty, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna blame him for them missing because, yeah, again, like penalties aren't as easy to score as people think. And Donnarumma is a great keeper, but you got to give the players some time to get their feet under them, get their mental, like get themselves prepared mentally, and like getting these young players when you have like Raheem Sterling or something who's more confident and experienced, getting these young players to take penalties to like win England their first trophy in decades. I think terrible decision. I think he literally bottled it at last minute. And yeah, you can say like, oh well, he got to the final. Again, I know you're supposed to win the games, but he had the easiest road to the final.
I mean,
So
so again, like you think roles reverse, like you think Italy and France would have made the finals from that side because France did lose to Switzerland. It's not.
yeah,
I'm
okay,
not saying that like Switzerland are like some like bad team, but like they
okay,
still
we lost
won.
some. Okay, we lost some penalties.
No, but
So
exactly. So
what?
like just by like that thing, like Mbappe, like
Okay,
was it Deschamps' fault for choosing Mbappe? He was like a young
no,
leader. Yeah, so
no,
like
but
it just
Mbappe is different from Saka. If you
no,
can't
I
see
know,
that,
yeah,
then I don't know what to tell you.
no, I
Like
know.
Mbappe actually takes penalties. Saka doesn't take penalties, not even for Arsenal. So I don't think that's the same comparison at all. And yes, France like they lost to Switzerland with like crazy defensive lapses in the last however many minutes because they were up 3-1 after Pogba scored that phenomenal goal.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, like they lost on penalties. It was a joke. Switzerland are clearly not as good as France, but um, at the end of the day, like yes, Deschamps isn't great for that, but Southgate did it just the same, but like he's done it more and he hasn't won anything. So yeah, they had the easiest road to the final, and I do think um, if we had a better manager, we would have met whoever was on that side from the final. if we were on your side. And I think even with Deschamps, if we were on your side, we would have made it to the final. I know it was a crazy lapse against Switzerland, but I
Yeah,
still
those
think,
things do happen. Like, like
yeah,
you said, yeah, it was like what 3-1 in like the 85th minute or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah. So again, like, so do you blame like Southgate? Do you blame Deschamps on that loss against Switzerland? Or do
yeah. It was well. I blame Deschamps, but not just Deschamps. With England, I don't just blame Southgate. Like that's a stupid way to think, to just blame one or the other. It's obviously also on the players too. Like the defense was shocking for France at the end of the game. Uh, the mental like awareness and prepared, like you weren't ready for that, which is shocking because I thought France were a lot smarter than what they look like at the end of that game. So obviously it's a combination of Deschamps and the players, but yeah, like Deschamps deserves quite a bit of blame for that, and I think so does Southgate for England losing in the final because it was literally in their grasp. They went up 1-0 by bringing on the pressure. They got one goal, and then they just let Italy do whatever they wanted pretty much for the rest of the game. So I think that loss in the finals was a huge part on Southgate. So yeah, I'm not going to give him the best out of the three. I think maybe if you want to argue over Fernand Sanch, okay, sure, but not over Deschamps.
I mean, yeah, I just feel like, Deschamps, like to me, kind of like Fernand Sanch, I just don't know why he's still the manager, especially after like the Euros. Because I feel like, what if you guys don't win the World Cup, is he going to still be the manager? Do you think he's going to go?
I don't know. I don't know what France want to do right now. Like I want him gone. I thought after that Euros performance he should have been gone. Because even in the World Cup, I didn't think it was really on him for the win as much as some people wanted to give him credit for. I thought that team almost coached itself. With leaders like Pogba and Umtiti and Lloris, Griezmann. All these guys, like they're vocal leaders on the team. So that team doesn't really need a great manager to come in and manage the players. So uh, I do think like the fact that Zidane is available makes me want Deschamps gone more. Like if we can get Zidane, why haven't we got Zidane? If Zidane had a job right now, though, I'd say just keep Deschamps, unless we can get Wenger.
Wenger.
I'd love to get Wenger for France, but um, I think the fact that Zidane is available is the reason that I'm like, okay, like get Deschamps out now, like right away, because I don't want Zidane to get another job and then he's not available. I say he's available right now. Deschamps clearly isn't the best manager. Uh, if I can tell that, I hope that they can tell. So, and I know Zidane is a good manager, like we saw with Real Madrid, what he can do, and he did that with a top tier squad. So this France team, on paper, is a top tier squad. So I believe that Zidane could manage this team very well. So the fact that he's available, that's why I think Deschamps has to go.
I mean, it'll be interesting. I personally think that, like you said, like since he is available, I'm surprised he didn't get that done sooner. I feel like that should have been like, before the qualifiers thing, because like the 10 games. So I feel like he should have got time to ease into it with those 10 games, like have his own camp. I don't get why Zidane personally has not been appointed, just because he is available, like you said, and like he's French as well. He's a French legend. He won 2 trophies with France. He won the Euros and World Cup back to back. So yeah, like I do think Zidane definitely should have been appointed. I don't think he's going to get the job now, but I think those 2 managers in particular, like Southgate, Fernand Sanch, and Deschamps, they're going to be under the most pressure. I feel like in terms of like managers as a job when it comes to the Euros, because I feel like the other teams such as like like Italy and Mancini, like his job is safe unless they somehow don't make it. And even I feel like with Belgium coach like Roberto Martinez, I think regardless of them winning or losing, he will leave, because like then that'll be the end of like their golden generation. I know how you feel about them, obviously, but yeah, so I think he's gone regardless. So I don't think he's going in thinking it's like win or lose. But yeah, so I feel like if neither England, Portugal, or France win, like I could see like all of them getting the sack. Like I personally, I hope Southgate doesn't, but like I definitely could see the other 2, like why they would get the sack.
Yeah, I hope all three get sacked, to be honest. I think Portugal definitely need an upgrade. I don't know who they'd get, but they need an upgrade for sure. Uh, I think England, I love a Frank Lampard. Him and John Terry as assistant coach. That would be lovely for me. But I don't think I think even if England lose this, I don't think they're going to sack him. If as long as he gets far enough, like if he gets knocked out in the group stage, then yeah, like he might be sacked. But if he gets like far enough, like England just seemed content with like challenging but never actually winning. So I don't think they'd sack him if he gets like the semis. And France, I think this is make or break for Deschamps. I think if he wins, obviously he's not going to get sacked, but we can't have another like performance like the last Euros. Like that, it's clearly below where this France team should be like at. So if we make it to the final and lose or something or the semis, then I don't think it would be sacked. But if we have another like, quarter final loss to like a team that's below us, especially with that kind of loss, is like, wow. The manager definitely has to be at fault. So we'll see. I hope all three are gone though.
I hope England win. So just with that being said, like I just don't think Southgate will, well, I hope he doesn't get sacked. So I hope he does, and that means I'm implying England don't win. So I hope we keep our manager, but I definitely agree for the other two for sure.
Yeah, well, I for me, best case scenario is France win the World Cup, but they still sack Deschamps. But that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine if we won back-to-back World Cups. That would be crazy.
That would be lovely. We have the squad to do it.
Yeah.
Like
I
I thought we
get a
also had
statue.
to. Sorry, what?
I feel like Deschamps would get a statue if he did that.
Hey man, he's been a part of the team for both of our World Cup wins.
Yeah,
So,
and the Euro win too, like when he was a player. So
yeah. So yeah, if they want to give him a statue, go ahead. But if he can't win, if he can't at least get far in this World Cup, then no statue for you, my guy.
I could go to Zidane.
Yeah, no, I would love for Zidane to come in and rejuvenate this team. I think they need it, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. I mean, selfishly, I hope Zidane comes to Manchester United for other reasons, but like,
Not gonna happen.
it would be cool to see Zidane, or I don't know when, but imagine if one day Patrick Vieira is the France coach.
I would like that too. That would be cool.
Yeah, he is a French legend. If he doesn't get the Arsenal job eventually, then I would definitely like to see that from that fan.
Yeah, I think eventually he will get the Arsenal job. I don't think Arteta, even with everyone like praising him, I don't think Arteta will like last for like he's not gonna do like a Wenger and stay there for like decades and shit.
Yeah.
I think eventually, like if Vieira keeps up showing that he can do well, I think he'll be brought in.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess sticking on the managers topic, let's go back to the Premier League. So Norwich have a new manager, Dean Smith.
Yep.
Appointed. No, there's rumors that he beat out Frank Lampard, who apparently withdrew himself from the race.
Yeah, yeah. So their first target was Frank Lampard, but Frank Lampard was apparently just not interested. So a cool appointment, I guess. I really wanted to see Frank Lampard, not really on Norwich because I didn't want him to be looked at as terrible because Norwich just suck. But I did want to see him be a manager again. I want to see him back to managing a team in the Prem or something. But I guess he's maybe just waiting for the right team. I'm not really sure what he's doing because if I was him, I would have taken it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's waiting for Southgate to screw up, take over England.
I mean, yeah, I think it's a good appointment for Norwich to get because I actually don't mind Dean Smith. I know Aston Villa were really underperforming, but I feel like because of how highly he brought them, I feel like maybe he had peaked. So I think he might do a similar thing for Norwich. You never know. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think is the right job for Lampard right now? Because maybe he could do a Gerrard route and go abroad and manage a team like that in one of the lesser leagues. Maybe the Premier League isn't for him right now, is what he's thinking.
Yeah, maybe. I thought maybe Lampard values himself higher than where everyone else does. I thought maybe he's looking for a higher profile job than Norwich, because he did just go like he did like I know he got sacked from Chelsea, but he was literally just managing Chelsea, who won the Champions League, and he did do some good for us, and he brought in a lot of youth, and he set us up on our Champions League run. It got us top four the season before. Uh, so I think maybe he values himself more at maybe like an Everton or something,
Yeah, something.
and maybe he's waiting for that kind of opportunity to show itself again. Or maybe he wants the England job. Like I've heard that he wants to manage England one day, so it could be that. But yeah, I think maybe abroad would be good for him, but it depends on what league. Like I think it should still be in like a good league. So I wouldn't say the Scottish league. I'd say maybe like a top five league, but just not like one of the best teams in that league. So like if he went to Serie A or something, and I don't know, maybe damn, if you went to Serie A and maybe managed, I know Jose Mourinho's there, but like a Roma or
Yeah.
something, then maybe I think that would be like better suited for him, or like the Bundesliga if he went to Wolfsburg or something. I'm not really sure,
Wow.
but I don't think he should go to like something outside of the top five leagues, unless it's like a big team in like what Gerrard did, I guess, like Rangers or something. Like okay.
I mean, yeah, it's an interesting take because, I think I hate Steven Gerrard, obviously, but I mean, like the work that he did at Rangers was just like world class. They went invincible. I think they conceded like 6 goals or something like that all season. And I think because he got that like clout, people are saying, oh, he's going to get the Liverpool job right away. But even him, still after doing that, which is an amazing achievement, despite the league, I think that that's like still to knock Celtic off. Because I think they were looking for 10 in a row or something like that. So the fact that he stopped that and then in the fashion that he did, like that's a really big achievement. So I think what Jared's trying to do is manage Aston Villa, do good, and then take over from Klopp. So I don't know what job, like let's say it's the England job. Like if I think for me, if Lampard wants the England job, I would like as an England fan, I would much feel like right now I'd like if it was one of the two, I'd rather Jared as the England manager, just because like it's just all we have is one of them winning the league and the other one crashing out, and then this team goes on to win without him. So
Yeah, but I also think like winning the Scottish League and coming top four with a team that just lost Hazard and has a transfer ban. I don't know how much you value the Scottish League, but I don't really think it's like, yes, it's impressive that he went undefeated, and he obviously did a great job. I'm not saying he didn't do it, but I'm just saying like Lampard has more experience with a bigger team with bigger players, and I think that would translate over better to England because they have a lot of big players. Managing Rangers and managing Chelsea are two completely different jobs, and Chelsea have way higher expectations. So I think I'm not saying I'm not saying Gerrard is a bad option. I just think I think Lampard would be better suited for the job because of his experience with Chelsea.
do you think if Jared was or Lampard was managing Rangers, you think they still would have done like as good with him?
I'm not sure. Like probably not just as good, because like it seems like Gerrard is good at getting he's good at getting like lesser players to perform really well and buy in as a team. I just think like Lampard has learned a lot from his time at Chelsea that would help him with the bigger names of England. Like I don't know how Gerrard is going to do with like Harry Kane and all these huge names like Maguire, who like, yes, they're top tier talents, but you need to get them playing to their best. I think Lampard, just from his experience at Chelsea, might be better suited to that. I like all of this is hypothetical, so I definitely could be wrong, but and like obviously I'm biased. It's Lampard, and I don't like Gerrard. So definitely might be a little bit biased, but yeah, like what he did was with Rangers was impressive. And yes, like you said, like he's looking to take over that Liverpool job. Klopp has 2 years on his deal left, and Gerrard just signed a 2-year deal with
Yeah.
Aston Villa. So it's looking like he's setting himself up for like Klopp leaves and then Gerrard takes over. So I don't think he would want the England job anyway. It looks like he really wants Liverpool. So I think Frank Lampard might just be a good opportunity to try him out. Like if Southgate fails, if Southgate like does well, then obviously like just keep him. But if Southgate like has like a terrible run in this World Cup, why not just give Frank Lampard a chance? If it doesn't work out, then there's plenty of other managers you could try. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited to see both Dean Smith and Gerrard back in the Premier League with their new jobs. I obviously have more expectations for Villa than I do Norwich. So I think, hey man, if he turns like Villa have it, like on paper have a really talented squad, but I feel like Dean Smith couldn't get them performing to like, the level that they wanted to. So I mean, if Gerrard doesn't, I feel like that would be a good show that he might be like, might do good with a team that has a bit of talent, because Dean Smith clearly couldn't do that. And I personally don't know how. Like they got significantly better, even though they lost Grealish, they brought in some great players who just why it hasn't worked out. So I mean, I'm excited to see them play just as like a fan. I hate Gerrard, as you know, but like just as a fan of the Premier League, let's see what happens. Maybe Gerrard will do good for himself. Not saying they're going to win any league because he doesn't do that, as we know. So maybe he'll do good for himself and get Villa into like an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, because I thought Villa were going to challenge for top 6 this year with all their new additions. Like like you said, they lost Jack Grealish, but bring in Buendia, Danny Ings, and Leon Bailey. And I know he's definitely had his issues, but Ashley Young is just like a leader.
Yeah.
Isn't like a bad pickup. They have some good players. Like Mings, I think is top quality. I think he's really good. He's pretty underrated in my opinion. Gets a lot of hate, but I thought they had like a solid squad. And they've just been really bad this season. So I think good appointment by them. Like Gerrard looks like he can do something very special with them because he did it with Rangers. But I still don't think I still don't think like you said, he's not going to do anything crazy with Villa. Like if he just gets them to mid-table, then like okay, just get like their new signings playing at their best.
Yeah. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's something Smith couldn't do. So I even think if they start, maybe they won't get as many results, but if certain players like Ings and Bailey and Buendia, like so especially Buendia, because he's had a really bad start. But if Buendia starts producing, I feel like that's what will matter. And then next year, maybe after he's been there for a bit, he can have like a fresh start and we can see what he can do.
Yeah. No, I agree. So one last thing in the Premier League. Apparently Arsenal considering selling Pepe for just 25 million after spending 72 million on him.
See, Nicolas Pepe is a player who I feel bad for, because he was brought into a team where at the time, Arsenal thought that they were still like a contending team. So a 72 million pound signing came in, and I wouldn't even say he's like flopped because of the price tag. I feel like he flopped because of these expectations. Like he was supposed to bring them back to the promised land, and they just haven't done anything. So I don't know why they're giving up on him personally, because, to me, if you're paying 72 million, and this is now what I'm saying about Sancho as well, I don't care what you're doing. I'm not selling you. Like, you're just going to play out your contract. And if we let you go, we let you go. But like, that's a big signing. That's the record deal. So I don't know why they're getting rid of a player like Pepe, just because we know how talented he could be on his day. And I just don't think getting rid of a player like that is a good thing, because even if he's not a starter, because, I feel like Saka has established that, like, he's there to stay, even though they don't usually play on the same position. You never know. But like, if they're going to build a team around like Saka and not focus on Pep anymore, at least keep him on the bench and rotate him in. Like, he's still a good football player, in my opinion. Maybe not a 72 million pound man, but he's definitely not someone you don't want to have on the team.
Yeah, well, I thought like watching Arsenal last season, he actually looked like their best player when I was watching Arsenal. Like he has this he clearly has an ability to take on defenders, and he in my opinion he's one of the best like dribblers in the league. Like he's actually really good at getting past defenders, doing some crazy brilliance. He almost reminds me of like prime Walcott. Not to like make fun of him or anything, but you know how Walcott had this like random moment where he would dribble in between like half your team and score like an amazing goal.
Yeah.
Pepe actually does that. It's just like I find like the team will let him down sometimes, and he doesn't get used in his best position a lot of the time with them. So I actually thought he was like really good for them last season. It's just the fact that they have Saka, who's clearly just he's going to be an Arsenal man for probably the rest of his life. Smith Rowe looking like it pains me to say, but he's actually looking like a top like quality player. Yeah. They have Odegaard, like Aubameyang is back. They still have like a lot of like forwards. So I can understand maybe not wanting to start him right now, but to sell him, especially for 25 mil, like I actually think that's a decent bargain for some teams. Like I think maybe like a team like Barcelona or something. Obviously back in the day saying like this Nicolas Pepe to Barcelona would be like crazy, but this Barcelona, like with how they're looking for 25 mil for someone like Pepe, who I actually think is good, just hasn't been used correctly at Arsenal. I think that's a good price. If someone could get him, then they should.
And I feel like Pepe, honestly, like, and I'm not even saying it to be a troll, but no matter what team he goes on, like, I would almost bet the house that he will succeed with that team. Like, he will look like the old Nicolas Pepe that was at Lille, who, like, I remember his stats that he had, like, they're very similar to Mbappe's in terms of goals and assists. Like, his output was crazy. So it's not like they were signing some, like, random dude. Like, he had an amazing year in Liga in that year. So, 72 million, I feel like Lille really cashed out. Like, they did good by doing it then. But, like, yeah, I just think that, Arsenal, like when he came in, he was supposed to be the savior. I remember, like, we have Arsenal fans. Like that dude was like Jesus Christ. And I remember watching Pep, and I was like, look, he's not a bad player at all. But like normal fans would rate him at like a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. They'd be like, no, bro, he's actually gonna be the best winger in the league. And I remember, that's the funny story. And Adrian, if you're watching this, I remember this guy Adrian thought he was so good that he traded Mo Salah for Nicolas Pepe in Fantasy Premier League. That's how highly Arsenal fans thought about Nicolas Pepe. So yeah, like I just think that, with the combination of expectations and, maybe not the insane goal output, I think it's just a recipe for disaster. If they're willing to sell him for 25 mil, I would just be like, all right, just get me out of the club. And I know he will succeed somewhere else. Because like you said, he's a class player. Like his dribbling's amazing. And being a world-class dribbler in the Premier League is not something that is just like under the rug. Like that's a great thing considering how fast-paced the league is and how aggressive it is. So he's clearly one of the best dribblers in the league. So if they don't want him, then I think 25 mil for any team, like that's like, I almost want to get him on United just for squad depth. Like, us another.
That's a steal. If he's going for 25 mil, then I think a lot of teams should definitely go in for him because, like, I'm not trying to say he's I don't think he was actually worth 72 mil. I did think they overpaid a little bit, but at the end of the day, for someone like Pepe, one of the hardest things in soccer is to actually like be able to dribble past people. Like, that's a big skill. It comes at a premium. Where you got like players like Mbappe, and you got like the Messis. Like those are like some of the most top tier players. Jadon Sancho, these guys that can like dribble past people and get past their man to create something are valuable. So I think he can still do it at a high level. 25 mil is a good price.
Yeah, and I think Barcelona would be good. I'd even want to see him play in the Serie A. Imagine if AS Roma got him linked up with Jose Mourinho, because I feel like 25 mil, it's like a bargain deal. Or even someone like, I would say it would be interesting to see him play in the Bundesliga. Imagine if he was on like RB Leipzig or like even Dortmund.
Well, yeah, Dortmund are looking for a right winger. They wanted to sign Cho on loan. And Thomas Tuchel said, nah, like I got plans for him. And apparently they're interested in bringing back Christian Pulisic from us.
Yeah.
So they're looking for wingers right now. So I think perfect deal for them. And Arsenal have a decent relationship with them because of the whole Aubameyang thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
And
they
even
can set that up.
Socrates too. Yeah, Socrates.
Yeah.
You forget about him.
Yeah, I did forget about him. He's kind of just a forgettable player.
On that note, I'll just never forget when he rejected United for Arsenal. Like
He did you guys a favor.
I know, yeah. Like in hindsight, thank you for that. But yeah, that was peak times for me.
Yeah, that's funny. What else we got to talk about?
I mean, do have a big debate that, you know.
Oh, you know what? I did want to bring up quickly. Sorry. France, Kazakhstan. You know, kind of skipped over them to talk about England's 10-0 win, but France 8 goals, Mbappe with 4, and I think Mbappe got an assist as well. So monster game from him. Again, I know it's Kazakhstan, but I'm still gonna give praise to someone who scores 4 goals and gets an assist. Like that's pretty insane. Griezmann with a penalty and an assist. Benzema with 2. Rabiot scored. Rabiot is one of my least favorite players in the entire world. I despise Rabiot. He should never play for France ever again, in my opinion. I don't know why Deschamps likes him.
He's scoring goals
against Kazakhstan. Okay, and I give the credit to Mbappe because he got the assist for that goal. I'm pretty sure. So no, I will never give Rabiot credit. I'm sorry. I don't know why he's even in the squad. He was bad for Juventus. Deschamps seems to like him for some reason. I think Tchouaméni is so clear.
Yeah,
it's not even funny. Like Conte is obviously levels above. Pogba, especially for France, is so clear of Rabiot, and Tchouaméni looks like the next big up and coming French midfielder. And the fact that Rabiot still gets playing time, it hurts my soul.
Sorry, I already know how you feel about Rabiot. This is just like hilarious to me. I mean, hey, if you need a left wing back, you know, you call Rabiot.
when you have people like Theo Hernandez, Ferland Mendy, like even Coman could play wing back. The fact that Rabiot actually started there in the Euros might be one of the worst things I've seen from a manager ever.
Rabiot. But yeah, no, so it was a great performance in all honesty from Les Bleus, you know, 8-0 Kazakhstan. Not the biggest team, but, you know, still got to win those games. So, I mean, yeah, I guess that's the cap off. Are they done their games now, or do they got one more game to play?
France?
Yeah.
No, France are in.
Okay, yeah, so that's a good way to cap it off, a big team win, you know. So, yeah, I guess France, you know, could be a favorite to win the World Cup. You never know. No, obviously they will. So I think, yeah, France are scary. I'm excited to see Mbappe and Benzema again because, like, it's a good duo. Who knows? Maybe they'll do that at the club level soon. But yeah, I mean,
hopefully.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens in the World Cup for France. I know we already talked about them a lot, so we don't got to go into too much details. But yeah, I'm just excited to see Pogba play again for France because, like, you know, I love Pogba and also Varane. I know he's been injured, so I think when those two come back, yes, Pogba will come back. So yeah, Varane and Pogba, those are my guys, obviously. So I don't like hate France. So, but yeah, I can't wait for them to play in the World Cup again.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I think it's gonna. France are like this team, especially like they seem like a redemption team. You know, after that Euros in 2016, they came back and won the World Cup. They seem a lot more motivated to win and to snuff out any team. And then the underperformance in this Euros, I think they're going to get up big for this World Cup. You know, Mbappe knows that he messed up in this Euros. I think he had like 1 assist and like 1 goal that was disallowed. He missed the penalty. So I think Mbappe is going to bounce back. And he's shown that, you know, like he's still like really good. He's been playing really good for PSG. So I think Mbappe will bounce back. Benzema is looking like a Ballon d'Or candidate.
Yes.
You know,
I've been
quality.
saying that for years. I'm like, you know that too. Benzema is the best striker in world football. Okay. Like I've said this. I love Lewandowski, but, you know, gotta be my bias to Benzema. He is so good. He is so good at like everything. I think in the Euros, he had a decent, showing. I think there's some games maybe he didn't look up to his best, but was his first tournament with the team in like 10 years, I think it was. So I can't be too mad. But I think once the Euros or the World Cup comes around, I think he'll be on the top of his game once again.
Yeah, and I'm definitely more excited to see him and Mbappe play together because they actually looked pretty good together. And in the Nations League, I know people like to clown on the Nations League, but we did win the Nations League, and Mbappe and Benzema looked really good together. So I'm definitely excited to see that. I'm hoping Griezmann can maybe find a bit more form. In the Euros, he didn't look great offensively. He did a lot of pressing, and he was great defensively, so I'll give him that. But I just want to see more offensively from Griezmann for sure. And like Pogba, like I always know what he's going to give France. Conte is a solid performer. I'm excited for this team. This World Cup run. I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. I'm a little worried about the defense, and I'm a little worried about the Champs.
Yeah. I mean, I think the defense, I definitely would agree with that because one of my main points about the World Cup was the defense. But now, I think that if everyone's healthy, if you get a healthy version of like Hernandez or Mendy, and then even, Koundé and Varane, like I think the defense will be good. But, Varane is kind of injury prone, I guess, which is, shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a big Man U fan, but I think if everyone's healthy, then there should be no issues like Rabiot playing left back. So
well, there shouldn't be, right? It depends on Deschamps, but like Theo Hernandez or Ferland Mendy have to be in at left back. Koundé should definitely be in. We have Kimpembe. He's a solid player, but he has like this. He's kind of like rash in his decisions. So I don't know. Like him and Varane I'm just not as sure as I was when it was Umtiti and Varane.
Yes,
so if we play 5 at the back though, which I think would definitely help, Varane, Koundé, and then either Kimpembe or Upamecano, any one of those options, like that's solid. So I'm worried about Deschamps mostly and what selections he decides to use. I also think maybe give Mukiele a try at right back or right wing back. Like I know Pavard is like a solid performer for France, but try something different. We have some options there. Like I don't know, maybe give them a shot. And then I genuinely think like Mike Maignan is just better than Lloris, and I think Maignan probably should have played over him in the Euros. So I'm praying to God that Mike Maignan is going to play, but I know he's not. So it's just kind of a waste of my time.
Yeah. I mean, I think one person who I wish I got to see play for France was Kenny Lala, just because he had that great 1 year. But yeah, so I think, I think the right back spot is probably going to be Pavard's to lose, but I'm a big fan of Mukiele as well. I remember when he had that amazing trio with Upamecano and Konate. So those two were really good together. So maybe he'll get a chance this year.
Yeah, it would be cool. I hope so. And then obviously Conte, Pogba in the midfield, Tchouaméni as the sub. Rabiot shouldn't even be there. And then Griezmann, Benzema, and Mbappe up front. Like that's good enough for me.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts quickly before we shift on? He has been in the headlines because of something Serge Gnabry said about him. But what are your thoughts on Ousmane Dembélé and his France career so far?
I really love Dembélé. It's just the injury issue has like it's been so disappointing to watch. It's very sad to watch because he's clearly a talented player. Because when he is healthy, he looks like world class. But then, like, it's just how long is that going to last until he's back in the hospital? So because I think even for France, like he came on like for I think like 20 minutes and then got injured. And then, went back to Barca and then he played again for like another like game or something, then got injured. Like, it's just like, it's kind of like a revolving door now. And it's just kind of sad because he's clearly talented, great on both feet, great at dribbling past players like we were talking about earlier, skillful, he can shoot. I don't agree that he is better than Mbappe. I think that's crazy talk. but he is like class, and I think he would get into that France team if he could stay healthy, but he just can't.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I'm pretty much the same. Like I've always liked Dembele, but just the injuries is just too much now. Because like I'm never gonna fault a player for getting injured because that stuff does happen. But it's like, how do you make your grand return and then get injured for now another 2-3 months? It's like I personally don't get that.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad for sure, but there's nothing we can really do about it.
Yeah, for real.
So we did just touch up there on Mbappe. I did want to say, there's always a lot of talk going around that, it's comparing Mbappe and Haaland. I just want to set the record straight right now, to everyone at home. Mbappe is better than Haaland and will always be better than Haaland. And that's it. End of debate. Nothing else I need to say.
Okay, guys, that was the episode. No, I'm kidding, but I'm a big fan of Erling Haaland. I think back to a lot of big talents coming up. He just looks amazing as a striker already. He looks like he's been playing the game for decades. He's amazing goal scorer. He's fast as well. He's decent on the ball. He's just, to me, like Erling Haaland. I think the sky's the limit for him. I'm not saying that, it's not for Mbappe, but to me, like, if I was building a team and like, it was like, okay, you could take Haaland or Mbappe, like I am taking Haaland any day of the week. I think, when you have the courtesy of playing with all those French players we just mentioned, plus Messi and Neymar and Di Maria and that big team, like Mbappe is in a way better setup in his career compared to Haaland, I feel like. So I'm not saying that Mbappe wouldn't thrive in like the Bundesliga on Dortmund, but at the end of the day, like Haaland was still like doing amazing numbers in the Champions League and in the Bundesliga with Dortmund with like a far less team than like Mbappe's. So
yeah, but you also have to think, right? Because he's playing with a worse team, and he isn't a creator. We all know that he doesn't really create a lot for himself. I think he has one of the lowest like dribbles completed percentage in all of the Bundesliga. He doesn't really take on players. He's more of like a target man. He's gonna and I'll admit, like, he's one of the best in the world at what he does. Like, I'm not gonna deny that. The numbers speak for themselves. But at the end of the day, because he is a target man, and because that Dortmund team, especially with Sancho, they were just full of creators. They're all just funneling the ball to Haaland. So, yes, his conversion rate is also really good. He's a top-tier striker. I'm not saying he's not one of the best in the world. I just think he was getting fed a lot of those goals, where Mbappe, for France and for PSG, a lot of the work he does for his goals is on his own. He's not getting fed as much. A lot of it, he's dribbling past players. He's doing a lot of skills to get open. And he's taking shots from further distances, more difficult shots. So yes, his conversion rate isn't as high as Erling Haaland, but I don't expect it to be that good on the ball and to be able to create your own shot from almost anywhere. I think is more valuable, and he also gets others involved because he'll switch from striker to left wing in game or right wing. He can play anywhere in the front line. He's so versatile. So and he pumps out assists. Like for me, like that is just more valuable than just goals. If you can give me goals and assists at that high level and create for yourself, not needing other people to create for you, I think that's more valuable.
I mean, yeah, like, I know we've seen Mbappe obviously like for France, so I'm not going to touch upon like France. That's different. So it's club level strictly here, but I feel like, like not I haven't been like too impressed with Mbappe at PSG, but like I think competitions like the Champions League when he's been like on the biggest stage, he has ghosted in some games. He has performed in others. Like he did have that hat trick against Barcelona a few years ago now when it was like behind closed doors. But then like I feel like in the finals against Bayern, like he really ghosted. And I just think that with Haaland, I know like we did say like it's a lot of goals. Like at the end of the day, like he's just a goal machine. Like, I think only Lewandowski right now is a better goal scorer. And like, that's crazy to think considering Lewandowski's has been around for a while. Haaland's only been around for like the past like 2 or 3 seasons. And like, he's already established himself as like that. And, scoring goals from a young age, like it's not something that anyone just does, but he just looks like he has like the whole package in the world on his feet. And he's like such a young player.
But does he have the whole package? Because like I said, like dribbles completed, he had one of the lowest ranks in the Bundesliga. And at the end of the day, like, yes, like you said, like Lewandowski is probably the only like goal scorer that is considered better. But both of them play in the Bundesliga, which we have seen time and time again is a way, way worse league for defenders than any other league in the world. We just saw Timo Werner go from banging in almost 30 goals in the Bundesliga to come into Chelsea, and he had to become a creator because he couldn't score. So, yes, he did in the Champions League. So has Mbappe. Mbappe has also scored a lot in the Champions League. Mbappe, yes, he has a better team with France, but he's done it in the World Cup. Haaland, for the Euros, failed to qualify, and he didn't score in like 10 games. So you take him out of the team Dortmund surrounded by creators just feeding him, and you put him alongside like Odegaard, and he doesn't even get a single goal in 10 games. So, like I said, like I'm not trying to hate on Haaland, world class, but I think the ability of Mbappe to be, I think if you put Mbappe on that Norway team, I think he would have at least got more than 0 goals. Like he would have got, because he's better just on his own at creating for himself. He's a better carrier of the ball, a better assister. I think he just brings more to the table. And like you said, like you said with Haaland, like if you were going to build a team, like you would pick Haaland. For me, the fact that Mbappe is so versatile and he can do almost anything I need him to do in the front line. Obviously, I'm not saying he's as good, but he reminds me of like Messi's style, where it's like you could throw Messi at left wing, right wing, striker, cam. I could throw Mbappe in any of those positions, and I know they're going to give me what I need them to give me. If I need Mbappe to create, he'll create at a high level. If I need Mbappe to score, he'll score at a high level. Haaland is just like, he's just a goal scorer, which is great.
It's a weird one because like I'm not gonna defend like the qualification for the Euros, like that was like horrible, I guess, on Neuer's whole end. Like even Mbappe that Euros only had 1 assist, so it's not like he like had some amazing Euros. And like in that time between the Euros and this season, Ligue 1 is now not top 5 league anymore, so he's legit playing in a league that's not even in the same category as like Haaland, technically speaking. So like I get the high level argument with France, but is he really doing it at a high level with the PSG? Because like the Champions League, he has ghosted in many of games. Haaland's just done better in the UCL. And like if you're playing in a league that is now the 6th best league in Europe, I get the Bundesliga is probably better for a goal scorer, like you said, but at the end of the day, that's still a top 5 league. Like Ligue 1 is now not.
I'm pretty sure Ligue 1 got reinstated back as a top 5 league after I think Messi joined.
Oh, they did?
I'm pretty sure. I think so.
Oh.
But for PSG, like he has, in 187 games, he has 139 goals and 72 assists. And like you said, like French league, yeah, okay, like it's not great, but that's over 200 goal contributions in 187 games. So like I wouldn't say he hasn't done at an elite level for PSG. He clearly has. And
I mean, I think similar to your Timo Werner comparison, I know we brought him up earlier, like that specific season, like Nicolas Pepe had like similar numbers in Ligue 1 to Mbappe. Now I'm not saying they're the same player, but like they had a similar output, and then look at how Pepe panned out at Arsenal. So again, I'm not saying that Mbappe is on the level, but like who says if he was in a team like Arsenal in the Premier League, he would like take them to the next level. And just on that topic, I think if Arsenal had Haaland, I think that like he would do better than Mbappe would for Arsenal, especially in the Premier League.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it really comes down to how they would be used if they're used correctly. And I don't trust anyone at Arsenal to use either of them correctly. So I can't really speak on that because Arsenal are a joke of a franchise. So I just think the versatility and the run with France in the World Cup, he was our best attacker. He was better than Griezmann. He was so good. And even in the Euros, the contributions don't look good. 1 assist, I get it, and like the disallowed goal. But if you actually just watch France, which I watched every single one of their games in the Euros, if you actually just watch France, he actually was playing good. He just didn't have the contributions at the end of the day. So, and I thought a lot of it he was robbed of too, because he was genuinely getting fouled a lot, and he wasn't really getting a lot of calls. I'm not going to make a bunch of excuses for him. He didn't play at his best, but he wasn't bad in the Euros. It's just the contributions want to make it seem like he was bad. He genuinely wasn't. He was making amazing runs. He wasn't getting fed as much as he should have. And when he was getting fed, he was looking like our best point of offense. He was looking better than Benzema. I know Benzema had more goals and contributions, but just on the ball, doing things for France, getting us up the field, he actually like looked really good. So I'm not really going to knock him for that. In Champions League games, I'm just like like maybe he hasn't come up big in some games, but I think that PSG team just hasn't come up big in certain games, and I can't blame it all on Mbappe just for them underperforming as a team, because I can't expect one man to go and play like a god every single game. Haaland has had games that he doesn't do much either, but no one really talks about it because he's on Dortmund. If you're on PSG, you're going to get talked about constantly because it's seen as like a powerhouse of the world in Champions League and whatever. So if you go on in Dortmund and you don't score for like 3 games, you're not going to get talked about as much as if Mbappe didn't score for 1 game. So I think it's a little blown out of proportion, his performances.
I mean, yeah, like I just think that with Haaland is that, and like we've seen other clubs struggle too, like even like Chelsea last year, like finding a goal scorer is like, it's a rare gem to find. Like, I'm not saying that, like, let's use Marcus Rashford. I'm not saying Rashford is better than Mbappe, because like, I just don't think he is right now. But like, you could, like, if United had Mbappe, but we didn't have a striker like Ronaldo, like I just don't think we would be in like, a good place, because you need a goal scorer. But I know.
So you don't think Mbappe is a good goal scorer?
No, I'm not saying he's not a good goal scorer. I'm saying compared to Haaland, though. Like I'm saying,
compared to Haaland, like Haaland is a better put the ball into the net kind of guy. But I think a record of 139 goals in 187 games is still elite. Like
I would call it elite if he wasn't playing in a league called Liga and Uber Eats. Like I'm sorry, but like even when Zlatan was there, and I love Zlatan, like I can't take that league seriously. Even now that Messi's there too, and I love Messi. Like I just, from like my whole life, I can never take that league seriously. That's one thing about Zlatan, because he's played in multiple leagues. So it's not like, oh, I wonder if he could have done it. Like he was elite in all of his leagues. So I think because we haven't seen Mbappe yet, and this is the point like I'll make, because we haven't seen him not play in and not in Liga yet, like I can't rate him in the same, like not seriousness, but that's why I want to go to Real Madrid, because I'll be the first to concede. If he goes to Madrid and does like those numbers, like you said, I'll concede any day of the week. Yeah, he's better. But because we haven't seen it yet, I just can't. And the World Cup run is
but you've seen Haaland do it in the German league, which like genuinely,
I mean, like it's still better.
It's really, but you say that, but how? Like the only thing that you can argue is that that like Bayern have actually like done, like besides like Bayern, no one in that league is actually going to compete for Champions Leagues or anything. None of them are actually going to do anything. So
but I'm saying like the league itself, though, like the quality, like
yeah, but those teams aren't actually going out and doing anything anywhere else compared to League One. So how can you really say it's genuinely better? But like it's
no, I just think like
really
the league as a whole, like the football itself, like I've just never been high on League One. Like it's a league. Again, they're really similar because they both had one team that just won it for X amount of years. And then, like I'm not gonna say that like the Bundesliga is some competitive league, but I just think like as a whole, like German football is just clear of France football, like in the league.
I'm just saying, like I haven't seen anyone besides Bayern do anything in Europe, so I can't really compare it, because like besides Bayern, like has Dortmund won a major Europe competition in recent memory? No. Has Leipzig done it? Wolfsburg, like all these teams, like they seem more competitive in that league, but they're not actually competing in Europe we've seen France teams like Lyon has actually done some pretty good stuff. They beat Man City. I know Man City like bottle it sometimes, but like we've seen Lyon do something. Lille have looked good in certain competitions. Marseille have I just think like I might even say like Bundesliga is slightly better, but I don't think it's that far off of a comparison because neither league has actually done anything in Europe.
I mean, yeah, but like my point is always that like I don't care about what they do in Europe. I'm saying just the leagues itself, like the interplay between like
but the interplay in the league doesn't it doesn't mean anything either because the interplay in the league with the French league is the same thing.
Well, I mean, no, I just think that the German, like I just think the Bundesliga is clear. Like I can't
watch a lot of Bundesliga.
Well, we get it on Sportsnet, so I do, yeah. Like I generally do, yeah.
Yeah.
We lost the Premier League here in Canada, everyone, so we now have the Bundesliga. But no, like I just don't like, and another thing too, like I just don't get how I know this is not just on Mbappe, so I'm not blaming him, but like even last year, how did they not win the league against Lille? Like how did they not?
No, that was shocking. Yeah, for sure.
So like I just think that in the past 2 seasons, for personal like benefit, I just think Haaland has done better for himself than Mbappe has for himself. He didn't win Ligue 1. He ghosted in the Champions League final. Had it again, you might have said he had good performances, but just on paper, I'm just going off of didn't have a good Euros to his standards.
Well, you can't have a bad Euros if you don't even qualify.
I know, but like France versus Norway, but you
got to score more than you got to have at least a goal in 10 games.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like Mbappe himself personally, like I'm just gonna look at the competitions that he's in. I'm not gonna defend Haaland for not making it, but like at the same time, it's Norway. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, no, but like Norway actually have some decent players, and there were teams in that Euros that were garbage. So if you're gonna call this guy, yeah, and I'll say it too, like he's like a top goal scorer. If you're considered a top goal scorer in the world, you're saying second to only Lewandowski, then you should get more goals in 10 games. Like you can't have 0 goals in 10 games and you're calling yourself or being called like the second best striker in the world. You need to have more. No matter what surrounding cast you have, more. You need to have 1 goal in 10, but one goal more. Like come on. Like you can't.
I get that, but to me, like I'm not gonna base the argument off of 10 games. Like what I'm saying too is that like there have been like in the past 2 seasons specifically, there have been like multiple occasions where I feel like Mbappe hasn't performed, and maybe it's just reactionary because Haaland's really turned up in the last 2 years. So just based on that, like in the last 2 seasons, you got Mbappe ghosting a Champions League final, didn't have a good Euros, they lost Ligue 1. But then you got Haaland scoring 40 goals in back-to-back years, breaking Champions League records for amount of time to scoring goals, winning Bundesliga Player of the Year. No, it was controversial because it probably should have went to Lewandowski, but he still won the award. So, like, to me in the last
here's the thing. Like, he got outscored by Andre Silva in the Bundesliga. And we've seen...
Hey, I'm not going to tell you that, you're wrong. Yeah, I don't think he should have won it, but he still did.
I know. I get that he still did, but we've seen Andre Silva struggle in Serie A and stuff, and then he goes to Bundesliga and he outscores Haaland, this top goal scorer. So if Andre Silva can do it in the Bundesliga, I think Mbappe could also at least be around the same level as Haaland in the Bundesliga. The defenders in the Bundesliga are shocking. It's besides Bayern, they're really bad. It's like Andre Silva to score more goals than Haaland. I think that's just not talked about enough.
I mean, but is that worse since only getting an assist in the Euros and losing it to Liga?
Yeah, but you got an assist in the Euros, but you made to the Euro, like to get an assist, and like I said, like he didn't even play bad. Like that's not even me just defending him. He didn't play bad. He was just he got a disallowed goal. He was making a lot of runs. I don't think he played bad at all. He played more of as a creator for us. He's trying to set up Benzema a lot. I don't think you can hate on a man for getting 1 assist in a competition that another man failed to qualify for.
So do you think if Haaland was on France, he wouldn't have done better than that? Like let's just take Mbappe out of the equation and you just put in Haaland for Benzema. So you don't think Haaland would have done better than 1 assist? And
no, He probably could have. I don't know, but like I saw him for Norway, got 0 out of 10. So I can't really say, oh yeah, he'd for sure do better than Mbappe because like he didn't do it. So I can't say for sure. He didn't even make the competition. So I think Mbappe, the fact that yes, he had 1 assist, it wasn't his best performance, but it wasn't Haaland's best performance in the 10 games leading up to the competition. So
let me ask you this then. So in the last 2 seasons, who do you think has done better for themselves between Haaland or Mbappe?
I'm done better for themselves.
Yeah. So it does have anything to do with like accomplishments as a team, like just pure stock for themselves. Who's done better for themselves?
So like just stats then?
More like you could say stats. I would just say like who's impressed you more in the sense of like, got it like, okay, like let's take in, the 10 games, like, cause that like including that in it, and including
if we're going to say who impressed me more, then I'm going to say Haaland impressed me more, but that's because Mbappe already showed me in previous years before Haaland came on the scene what he can do. So I'm expecting that kind of level from Mbappe. With Haaland, he just came on the scene out of nowhere and started banging in like 30 goals and like. So that's impressive to me because my expectations for Haaland weren't anywhere near as high as Mbappe. So what impresses me more isn't the same as who I think is better.
No, I know. So like, yeah, that's like my main argument. I feel like in the last 2 seasons specifically, I feel like Mbappe personally hasn't done anything that's like impressed me because I haven't to that standard. But Haaland was scoring all these goals for Salzburg, so that's what excited me. And I'm like, okay, I hold him to the same standard at Dortmund, and he crushed it. He's doing even better. So he's kept on exceeding my expectations. Now I would have liked to see him play at the Euros. Obviously, the 10 goals or whatever, or sorry, 10 games, like that's unfortunate, but his record for Norway is also ridiculous. Like I remember on his debut for the under 21 team, he had 9 goals on his debut. So he's still like very good for Norway. It's just like unfortunate that in that specific run of games he didn't turn up. But like I just don't think, like, to me, that's not gonna like hinder anything I've ever felt about like Haaland as a player over the last 2 seasons.
Okay, like I get it. I'm just saying like the fact that Mbappe is on teams like France and PSG, his like bad performances are hugely focused on compared to where if Haaland doesn't do anything in a game, no one's going to talk about it. Like I'll literally just tell you right now, in the Champions League, they played Ajax and they lost 4-0. And so like he didn't do anything and no one says anything. They played SC Freiburg in the league, which we I don't even have to know anything about Bundesliga, and I know Dortmund are a better team. And they lost 2-1 and he didn't score an assist. But no one talks about it. When PSG go and they tie to like some crappy team, I don't know, like Anders or something, and Mbappe doesn't do anything. Everyone's always talking about Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar, like they can't even score against Anders. It's because they're on the team. So Mbappe's bad performances, they seem a lot worse because he's on these great teams and we have these expectations for him. With Haaland, he goes and he doesn't perform and no one talks about it and no one gives it the notice that it deserves because he's from Norway and he's on Dortmund. But if you're considered this top player, then I do have those expectations. And if you're going to give those same expectations to Mbappe and you're going to compare Haaland to Mbappe or say he's better, then he deserves those same expectations. So if you're going to underperform, then people need to talk about it, just like they do with Mbappe.
I mean, yeah, like that's fair. I'm gonna hold him to an account, but like in these recent games, like has he been playing? So I did he not get injured recently, or am I just?
Yeah, no, he did, but just
like
looking at the last
Ajax,
games that he played.
yeah. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, because like against Ajax, he didn't play. Against Leipzig, he didn't play. Against did he play against Cologne when they won? Let me check. I mean, yeah, he didn't play against Cologne either. So like he hasn't even been there recently. So yeah, he's not been featured with them. So against Ajax when they lost, he played.
He
So
played
yeah,
against
against Ajax. That was the last.
he played against Ajax because I was just looking on his page. He played
Yeah.
against Ajax. He played the full 90 minutes. He played center forward. They lost 4-0.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm not saying like he's the sole guy at Dortmund, but you didn't even get a goal. And if Mbappe did that exact thing, people would be like, wow, you lost 4-0 to Ajax. You didn't even get a goal and assist. I'm just talking about the expectations. Like it paints a different picture in our mind because of the expectations we have for Mbappe. If he doesn't perform to his best, people are flipping out and going crazy. Haaland doesn't do it, and no one says a word.
I mean, yeah, like I just need to see him not play for PSG. I think that's when I'll like start to actually take him seriously, because I do with France. Like that's
okay, but I also need to see Haaland off of Dortmund then though, because like again, I need to see the same, because Bundesliga, like even if you want to say it's better, Bundesliga is not a good league. I don't like. At the end of the day, if you think it's better than League One, like okay, League One isn't great. So, is Bundesliga better than Serie A? No. Is it better than La Liga? I don't think so. Is it better than Prem? Not even close. So I also need to see Haaland move to a different league. If you're going to use that with Mbappe, use it with Haaland.
I mean, technically, like Haaland did that. He went from the Austrian league to the Bundesliga. So like he has moved the league in his
upgrade
prime.
Again.
So again, like he now has to move leagues again. I'm just saying, like compared to Mbappe, who's been in a, like if he goes to Real Madrid, that's another amazing situation. Haaland went from Salzburg and 40 goals to Dortmund and 40 goals, and Mbappe has France and had that great Monaco team. Who again, he's been a great part of those teams. Like I'm not saying he got carried, but these are still like amazing teams. And now PSG with Messi and that. So what is he going to go to Madrid and have Benzema? And like Madrid's probably the biggest club in the world. So like again, like these are a lot of like great ramifications for Mbappe that I'm saying Haaland hasn't had yet.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like obviously like I'm not comparing Dortmund to PSG, but I'm just saying if you're gonna like if you say I need to take him serious, he needs to move to another league. I think that has to apply to Haaland as well, because going from the Austrian league to to Bundesliga is a big upgrade. But like, what is the Austrian I don't really care about the Austrian league. That league is garbage to me. I don't really care what you do in that league. Bundesliga, cool. Show me you can do it in a La Liga. Show me you can do it in a Serie A or a Premier League. Upgrade again, because if he's at this level, it's like what I always say with Lewandowski. Like, yeah, you can be at this level, but you've been on Bayern. Like, you're in the Bundesliga and you're on the best team in the league. Like, you need to show me you can do it either internationally, or you need to show me in a better league for me to consider like Lewandowski like a top player of our generation. So, and I can't fault him for being on Poland, but like just winning stuff with Bayern in the Bundesliga, it isn't enough for me to say you're like this like legendary player. So not even winning with Dortmund and just getting stats, I can't say you're the legendary player when you haven't won anything. And so like if you're gonna say for you to take Mbappe serious, he needs to move to another league, then I think the same thing has to apply to Haaland, because at least Mbappe has won an international trophy.
No, again, yeah, like I completely get what you're saying, but like what you just said about Lewandowski for me just applies to Mbappe. He's supposed to be this generational talent and all that stuff.
Yeah, but Mbappe won. That's why I said you need to show me what you can do either internationally or in a different league. Mbappe has shown me international. He was one of our best attackers, and he won a World Cup.
Like that was a year ago, though. Like my point, like if we're gonna bring in international, all I'm saying is that like great 2018, not taking that away from him, but what have you done for me lately? And that was a one. Like he didn't have Euros.
But I'm saying like overall, if I'm gonna call someone a generational player, you need to show me something. I'm not saying he did that in the Euros, but he has shown me in the past.
So if he never has a good tournament ever again, that's okay, because he did it that way.
I'm not saying that's okay, but 2018 is not that long ago. Like we can't just act like, oh, like that didn't happen. Like it did. He was really good. What else is there to say? He won a World Cup. I think that alone should prove that he should be taken serious, even if yes, he was on France, who are a really good squad.
Yeah, like again, I just think for me that like Haaland going from Salzburg to Dortmund, like that was his league change. And yeah, I agree with you. I hope he gets out of the Bundesliga eventually, but like he already made that change and did better. So I'm just waiting for Mbappe to make the same change and do better, because like I think he's a class player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not good. He's like probably behind Haaland in my youngster rankings. But like at the same time though, like these are a lot of ifs, ands, buts, and maybes for Mbappe based on like other things. I would just like
No, but you're bringing up the if, ands, and but. I'm saying he did this. He won a World Cup. He's shown us what he can do, and he's done it at some of the highest levels. Like, so yes, he needs to move to another league, but going from Monaco to PSG, like, okay, like what's the difference from the Austrian league to the Bundesliga? Like, the Austrian league means nothing.
It's still a league change. Andy was doing it in that league, putting up numbers, then did it with Salzburg in the UCL, and then went to Dortmund, did it in the Bundesliga. Like, to change like leagues and teams, like that's not just an easy thing to do. And like, again, that's why like I'm only talking about the last 2 seasons, because I'm not going to deny like Mbappe with Monaco and France, like in before that, great stuff. But Haaland wasn't around. So I'm just talking about the last 2 seasons. So, like, great that he did that in the World Cup, but like I don't care about that right now. I'm just talking about the last 2 seasons specifically. I think Haaland has been better for himself on a personal standpoint over the last 2 years compared to Mbappe.
Yeah, I just think like being able to actually create for others like is a big factor. Being able to take on players and create your own shot is also a big factor. And I think Haaland gets fed a lot of his goals. So again, he's supreme talent.
Yeah.
He doesn't complete dribbles. He doesn't get past players. He's given the ball and he shoots, and he has a rocket of a foot, but his dribble completion is actually like bad. He doesn't get past players on his own. So no, I don't really think he can create his own shot off the dribble. I don't think so.
I mean, like we saw him score a world-class goal against PSG in the Champions League, not last season, but the time before that. He just took it, took a touch and bang. And like he's
okay, I'm not saying he can't, but he doesn't do it consistently, and he doesn't do it at a high level, which Mbappe does. Mbappe consistently creates his own shots and creates for his teammates, where Haaland is just like, again, talented, but he like a lot of it is just he gets forward, he has really great positioning, and his teammates give him the ball in his positions, and he has like one of the best strikes in the world. Like, I'll give him that. Like, it's crazy. He can hit the ball from almost anywhere, but I never really see Haaland taking on opponents and getting past them and then scoring. Like, it happens maybe once in a while, but to have like some of the worst statistics in the Bundesliga for dribbles completed, I'm not going to say he can create his own shot at a high level consistently. He can't.
So like, if we're going to compare him to like other strikers, then like, do you think that like you fault Lukaku for stuff like that? Because like Lukaku's a
Lukaku can though. Lukaku completes dribbles. He does. He receives the ball. He turns. He can create his own shot very easily. He's done it. He even did it for Chelsea early on in the season. He does it for Belgium. And like Lukaku can definitely create his own shot at a high level.
I mean, like I love Lukaku, but like I don't think that like he's some world-class dribbler. Like compared,
I'm not saying he's a world-class dribbler. I'm not saying you call
him that, but I'm saying like I'm not gonna like say like I would say dribbling is probably his like weakest point. I would say as a striker, I would say. Like I would even say his passing's pretty good. His physicality, don't gotta talk about that. He's a great finisher and he's fast. So he has the whole package with that. But like, with someone like Lukaku, who I think is like similar player to Haaland in the sense like, very good target man, very big in the box. Like if Lukaku can't dribble and create his and like, set up other guys, but he's going to score me 30 goals like he has done for other teams, so be it, So
the thing is Lukaku can do that. That's the thing. He actually had I think 14 assists in the Serie A or something last season. He can, and for Belgium, a lot of the time he plays on the right wing almost. He actually drives in from the right. And he can do step overs. He dribbles past players. He receives the ball. He actually creates a shot quite often, especially for Belgium. And we saw it a lot for Inter last year. For Chelsea, if you're just watching how he plays with Chelsea, he looks more like a target man. But I think
I was more or less going off of like Chelsea.
Yeah, but I don't think he's being used to his fullest potential at Chelsea. Like from the past games that we saw, his actual like best games, if you just watch what he was doing on Inter and with Belgium, he's constantly creating his own shot. So I think he's a lot better than Haaland in that respect at creating his own shot. And he also has the target man tendencies of being able to score the ball with both feet, probably almost from anywhere, and with his head. So I personally believe I know Lukaku had some struggles for the last few games before he got injured for Chelsea. But I personally believe Lukaku is better than Haaland still.
So you think like in that role for Chelsea, you would take Lukaku over Haaland.
Yes.
In that specific role.
Yeah. Obviously, if I'm getting a player for the future of Chelsea, I'm taking Haaland, because for him to do these kind of things at 21 years old is insane.
Yeah.
But if I'm saying, like Champions League final and I have to pick between Haaland and Lukaku, I'm taking Lukaku.
That's big because I love Lukaku and all, but he's traditionally like he's known to ghost in big games. So like I don't think I would do Champions League final. But if it was like, let's say a derby game against Arsenal or like maybe an FA Cup semifinals, like I could see that, but I wouldn't say a big game with Lukaku. That's just with me.
Hey, if that's what you want. I'm just saying, like, Lukaku did it in Serie A last season. He won them their title. He was the league MVP. I'm pretty sure like he had like in the league like 24 goals and 14 assists or something.
Yeah, again, I'm not taking that away from him. I just mean purely like his Chelsea role, because he's I don't think he plays in the same role that he did at Inter.
Well, he doesn't. I'm just saying, like, at Lukaku's best role. I'm going based off of them being used at their best. Who do I want? Like, my team. I'm saying that I'm going to use them correctly. I'm taking Lukaku because I think he's more experienced. He's better with the ball. And I think he's just more prepared for what defenses can throw at them. And that's nothing against Haaland. I just think he has it quite easy in the Bundesliga.
I mean, yeah, I just think that, like with Lukaku specifically compared to Haaland, just because like he was on United too. So like I've seen him play a lot. Like I wouldn't say Lukaku is like that much better like on the ball. That's why I made the comparison.
But he definitely wasn't used correctly at Man United. And I'm not talking about his Man United time. I'm talking about Inter and Belgium, because Man United, he didn't look like how he looked for the past 2 years on Inter.
I mean, yeah, again, like I'm just talking about purely Chelsea, Lukaku, and Haaland. Like that was my point. I don't think that like.
So you're just talking about this specific season then, like what,
role,
like 8 games in.
Yeah, like his role, because it's like unless he comes back from injury and he plays in a different role, then sure, so be it. But I just mean like his role now, because he's like you said too, he's not in the same role. So I would say like I know you said Lukaku, but if it was like for a game and in this role, I would choose Haaland over Lukaku, like in that specific role.
All right. Yeah, no, like that's fine. I just think Lukaku has more in his tool chest, more available to him. I think he's more skillful on the ball. He's better at making his own shot. We saw that even at the beginning of the season against Aston Villa. Yeah. So like you can see what he does on the ball. Like a lot of the times, like Haaland is just get the ball and smash it, which like it works. It goes in. But if you defend him a certain way and you don't let him get fed the ball into the box, like he's not really going to create for himself. And I think Lukaku and Mbappe both can way better than Haaland. I think that's valuable.
Yeah, I mean, I think once I get to see Haaland play in a team that's even comparable to Chelsea and PSG, then I'll have a better understanding too. Because like, you would probably agree that Chelsea are way better than Dortmund. And obviously, we don't need to talk about PSG. So I think if I could get if Haaland, to me, if he's scoring that many goals and playing that well for Dortmund, like, oh my God, imagine him on PSG with Messi and Neymar.
But if you use the logic of, we see Haaland doing this for Dortmund, but is it not more impressive to see Lukaku doing this for Inter and Belgium, or if he comes back from injury and plays really good for Chelsea? I think those are all harder competitions, like Belgium internationally, and I think the Premier League and Serie A are both clear of Bundesliga. So to be performing at that level against better defenders, against better teams, I think if you want to keep going on the Mbappe thing, but I think Lukaku, I think he has proved himself to be better than Haaland.
Yeah, I think obviously in his whole career, Lukaku's clear. But I'm just saying, in his new Chelsea role, not considering Belgium or
but I don't think we would be using Haaland correctly either. I don't think no matter who you throw into that role, it wasn't looking like we would use anyone correctly as a target man, because we were playing too wide and not feeding into the ball through the middle, or letting him actually use his skills on the ball. It was a lot of just empty passes and just bad giveaways. A lot of it, like Lukaku, like his contributions after I think the first like 4 games, like he didn't contribute in like 6 games or something. But a lot of it, like if you genuinely watched, he was getting good match ratings. He was actually playing really well. He just literally wasn't getting any any supply from our players. We started off the season really slow at creating. So I can't blame him for that. And I think Lukaku, when he comes back, if he's back to himself, I think he will start getting goals again.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, only time will tell about that one. Because like I don't know when he comes back. I know you said it might be
after this international break. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so hopefully he gets back. Because I actually like Lukaku, but yeah, I just think that Haaland. I think if he does like similar numbers at another league, then to me it's like okay, I know the player that is. It's like over, like the traps. I'm just waiting for Mbappe to take the next step to hopefully Real Madrid. Because I don't see him going anywhere else unless he goes.
To Real Madrid.
Yeah, because I know he wasn't he in your guys' academy or something like that, or like he didn't yeah. So besides Chelsea, I don't know where else he would go, and I'd
love him at Chelsea, but he's not. He's going to Real Madrid.
Yeah. So like hopefully, and hey, like if he does amazing, like I've said this for the whole time, like I will like hats off. He proved me wrong, but until then, like I'm just sick and tired of him playing in Liga, and like I can't do it anymore, unless they win the Champions League this year, which they might because of the team. But like again, if they somehow don't, it's like is that a reflection on Mbappe or the team? So like I just
you got to see how it turns out. Like if Mbappe's playing good, but the rest of the team doesn't, like you can't really blame him. So like it honestly, if you've seen any PSG this season, he's been their best player. He like you would think with Messi, like he would be clear, but Messi has been kind of like not amazing. Neymar hasn't really done much, so he's actually been like clear their best player this season. So I don't know. Yeah, hopefully he goes to Real Madrid soon. But I think we should end it off there. It's been kind of a long episode.
Yeah, it was a very, very good episode, though, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, Bods, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We love making these videos for you guys. And, thank you to everyone who made it this far. So once again, like and subscribe, and our TikTok and Instagram will be in the description. So please give us a follow.
Yeah, and let us know what you thought of our debates in the comments. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.